No fake rapture. I'm a little disappointed, but you know, it's just another prediction that was cold. All right, another one that was cold. I have a few I can remind you of that were hot, but this one was cold. And let me just get it straight. If people really don't understand that I don't believe in the rapture, and they think I do, well then you're either not paying attention, or it's just the hook, line, and sinker attempt. That's all. Hook, line, and sinker attempt. Do I believe we're going to float up in the air? No. I don't believe we're going to float up in the air. I don't believe that when the rapture happens that's it and we're going to be left behind. I just believe that if we see one, it will be manufactured somehow. That it's not truly going to be from the Lord. Maybe the lowercase L-O-R-D, but not the Creator Lord. So no, I don't believe that it's something that's going to be physical. It's going to be visual. We're going to see it somewhere. It's going to be visual for sure. It's not going to be spiritual like the first one. You know, the one that nobody's seen. Remember when Christ came as a thief in the night? About 7 years ago? I do. But a lot of people are making sure that he doesn't come as a thief in the night now. But I understand that it already happened 7 years ago. So a lot of people are waiting for Christ to still return in physical form, as if he's going to return as a person. It's too easy to think that. It's just it's one of them things where you're reading the Bible, the first verse, and you read it literal, and you interpret it literal, and you believe it literal. Therefore, you have a literal understanding of it, and then it literally doesn't make sense spiritually because it doesn't line up with truth. But for the rapture, I only thought it was real 7 years ago when I thought we were going to be caught up. So these days, I understand that was a spiritual resurrection of the souls. That's how I understand it. It doesn't matter how other people understand it. It's just, I have my view, and then others have their views, and then they express their views, and I express my views. For people to quarrel over it and get upset about it, but that's the part where people's pride needs to be put aside, and you just listen to what people have to say. You don't have to agree with anything. And because that's exactly what I do. I listen to a lot, but even the ones that I know are lying to me, I'm listening to because I want to hear what their lies are, so I can line it up with the truth and get answers out of it. So the whole deception, if I was the elite, and I went over this before, that I would definitely have a lot of YouTubers acting like they're real people. I would, you know how in the movies they get into their cars and they drive through the green screens and they're reading scripts because they're not really driving? Well, I would do that too. I would spend that money that it takes to put in the studio and do things the exact same way that Hollywood would, because people don't expect YouTubers to have Hollywood production of capabilities. But it's true, because it's just another branch. It's another branch of the media. Mainstream media, Hollywood, social media, it's all owned by the same corporation. It's all owned by AI. AI is going to kill all of us through all that technology. But for people to still believe in a rapture, you're only going to know when it doesn't happen. So for the ones that have disagreed with me in the past, and the ones that still disagree now, and I've disagreed with them in the past, I've moved on from holding any grudges, any hard feelings, any bad vibes, any negative feeling inside, because I don't want my energy being stripped out of me. So I don't hold on to any animosity whatsoever. Others probably still do with me. And, you know, and I do set dates. I do say, hey, I predict, because I was right a couple times, and I would have to remind people, the Super Bowl, it was exactly, and I didn't do it through gematria. I didn't do it through, I technically kind of through the Bible, because the winner and why they were going to win, I got that out of the Bible. The script itself, I just got that from watching The World and understanding that sports is all scripted. So when I know that the Eagles are going to be down in the third quarter, and then old Nicky Foles is going to come back and he's going to be the MVP, and that's exactly how it happened. And I could have bet money on it if I really wanted to, but I don't care for the money, because I knew I was going to be dead on with it, and that's what happened. So when you do predict something that happens, okay, I didn't predict the date, but because I knew they were playing on Super Bowl Sunday, but I predicted what they were going to do. It's a script. And then the same thing with the war that a lot of people still disagree with, but I don't care. I know what it is. I know when it started. I don't have to convince anybody. And other people know exactly when the wars and rumors of wars started to expand exponentially this year more than ever, right at April 7th. So that, yes, that was a war that I predicted. That was a date that I predicted. So when I get something right, me personally, I'm going to build off that, and I'm not going to let any kind of possible negative thought jump into my head and dwell there and rent space and tell me otherwise. That's why I'm able to read comments, watch videos. Negative, positive, doesn't matter. I'm focused in on what I got to do no matter what. I'm not letting people's thoughts or opinions deter my narrow path. Now, but I'm not knocking people that don't think the same way that I do. I don't have the anger about it. When you can't understand the Bible spiritually and you're looking at it literally, and you literally get mad at me for interpreting it spiritually, then you have a problem. You have a problem with pride. The pride will continue to get you to have some animosity towards me. I don't let that pride get in the way, because I still learn. The reason why, I learn off of people that, even if I don't agree with them, I truly learn off of them, because they're still talking about certain scriptures that I can go to and something clicks in place. So it all helps to not have animosity towards anybody that you've ever had a beef with on YouTube or even in your own family. It's not worth it anymore, people. You gotta just put your freaking pride aside and let it go and move on and try to put pieces together. It's pride that gets in the way, that anger pride that gets in the way. You just gotta smash it and just get it out, because people right now, whether you believe what's going to happen or not, we all kind of feel something is up. That's the bottom line, the core of the whole problem that we're seeing in the world, is something's getting ready to jump off. I'm always going to try to figure out the script, the date, and the script. Why wouldn't I? And other people predict things through gematria. Others have other ways of just foreseeing the future. You can foresee ahead of time. I can see the scripts in the world, and I can see the spiritual warfare that's happening, and also the spiritual meanings of the Bible that the elite can't understand, and other people don't, and that's why, you know, they don't agree with me, but I'm not the one that gets mad at them. Okay, let me sum it up. The ones that read the Bible literally, and people like me and others come out and explain it differently spiritually, you say we have a devil in us, because we can understand things without the Bible telling us otherwise. Well, what about when the Bible wasn't written? How did God speak to his people? Personally, like with the mouth? Yeah, with the mouth. But at the same time, always in the heart. God will always speak to you in the heart. Back then, he might have talked to them personally out loud, but he still spoke to them in the heart. The Word of God speaks to you. The Bible itself, open it up. It speaks to you. It communicates, just like the image of the beast, the first beast, and that's going to be wounded, which is the economy, and the second beast, which is going to rise up, which is Bitcoin. They're all going to, try to get us to worship it. Period. And, well, I'm not up for it. I'm not up for worshiping it. But we all know something's going down. And why argue because you have a different view, a different opinion? We all feel very strong towards our beliefs, don't we? Don't we all interpret the Bible the way that we understand it? I mean, isn't that really having a private interpretation? You're not lying about what you're teaching. It's what you believe. You're supposed to tell what you believe, because you're either going to be hot or cold. That's what that means. God has no problem with you if you're teaching something that other people don't agree with. What if you are right? And then what if you are wrong? Well, do you think God's going to freaking strike you dead because of it? No, man. It means you are cold. And then when you're hot, well, you nail it. Like April 7th is the beginning of wars and rumors of wars. And everybody's going to put their own spin on it. Isn't that what happened? So when it happens, you stick with it. Yeah. You stick with your belief. But at the same time, when someone's trying to convince you otherwise with some type of animosity and or disrespect, when it comes down to that, well, you got to get rid of your pride. But for the people that can disagree and keep going, I respect that, because I do the same thing. It's only when you become disrespectful is when you got to go. So that's what I'm keeping my comment section to, at least. If anybody wants to talk about what's really happening here with your own opinion, your own private interpretation, hey, I truly get it, because God's not going to stay mad at you for being hot or cold. He'll be more pissed if you're lukewarm. So don't be lukewarm, because that means you're not trying at all. So for the people that make predictions, sporting events, worldly events, hurricane events, earthquake events, awesome, man. That's good, because you're getting some type of vision from God in your heart. And then you can also look at, like, say, gematria, and maybe it'll back some up. I don't know. But for me, you don't need to know a lick of the Bible for God to be able to give you a spiritual understanding of certain things that you see. It's called a gift. I have the same gift. Other people have the same gift. I know what my gifts are, so I'm going to utilize them the best way that I can to get the most effective results from it. I will use my spiritual gifts. And I believe that a lot of it has to do with putting the script, absolutely understanding the script. I might not have the dates right, but I understand this is all a script. The wars and rumors of wars, it's all script. It's a war of words. So yeah, that is a script in itself. And the war happened to start on that day that began the wars and rumors of wars. The war will start. I think the third and final hurricane is going to be the one. And I think another one came out named Willis, or Willa, or Willi, or Willow. So Michael and Will, or Willow, I don't know. I got to look at it. What's the third one going to be? And then I try to think, well, what is Willow? Will, I mean, Michael's will be done. I don't know. But I think there'll be another one. But that's just what I think. And if it comes true, it's like, well, then I hope people will start believing. That's all. And so I think I got some people to get on board with, okay, April 7th was the war that began the wars and rumors of wars. I'm on board because it came true. You said it beforehand and it came true. Okay, and other things I said I got wrong, which like October 21st being the 7th year since the beginning of the 6th trumpet, and that we'd probably see a fake rapture. I didn't say we're going to see a rapture that I believe is real, and I'm holding on to every moment that it's going to happen. No, I'm saying that the rapture will be fictitious. And the war that starts is going to be fictitious. The reason why they're going to cut our power is going to be a fictitious story. Because all they're doing is they're just cutting it. And they'll probably say that North Korea, China, or Russia blew us up. And we're not going to have it. And so I understand the scripts inside of the scriptures because I see it spiritually. Their scripts is literally the literal interpretation of the Bible. That's why I see their scripts, because it's in the scriptures. I'm reading the scriptures spiritually, so I understand it clearly, and then literally because I understand their script for the world. That's how I get the understanding of what's going to play out in the world first, or close to it. Wars and rumors of wars, peace and safety, one day beforehand it happened. And yeah, well, last year, at this exact time, 5 months ago, I mean, not last year, but May 21st, 22nd, was Obama signed that thing, and then the Pope said it's okay to be gay. So I don't know if something's going to happen today where a major signing would happen or something. But that's all I do. I do exactly what everybody else does. You try to figure out the script. Can you put a prediction out? Do you have enough balls to put the prediction out there and say you think this is what's going to happen on this particular day? And then back it up when it does happen. Well, that's why I do it, because if I do get it right, I have something to back up proof that I said it beforehand. And if I don't get something right, I have proof that I was wrong. And I come on and say, yeah, I was hoping to see a fake rapture where on the news they're saying millions of people disappeared and there's clothes left all over the place. I was hoping that we would see that. Midnight, last night, the 21st, midnight, but it didn't happen. So what's next? Still, the tornadoes are going to, hurricanes, they're going to still wipe us out. They're working on the rest. They still got to get to New York. Something still has to cause a tsunami over in New York, because that's just the strip that I see. But I think that's the last part. I think Babylon, the great city, will fall in that last hour, and that'll be New York City. And they'll say that either fire came from heaven from freaking fake ass meteorites that don't exist because they can't get up into outer space, period, or it's missiles from North Korea that's shooting 24,000 miles all the way to the right side of the the Earth that's not spinning. But they're really going to tell us that it came from Alaska, which is probably like 4,000 miles, and they shot it 1,000 miles up into outer space, past 250 miles, past the space station that floats up there, and it went 750 miles higher than that, and came back down, and it's go psh, and it took out our satellites up into space. So they can use that bullshit story too, and just tell us that, and then just cut our power, like click. So when that happens in certain states, devastation in a major state, I'll just say this, without trying to be too damn specific. When a major catastrophe happens in a certain state, you know that this is the beginning of a continual collapse, and that you're not going to be able to call anybody over. Let's just say it's LA, and it sinks into the ocean with the earthquake, they say, and then everybody over there, they just cut the power. They can't call anybody, no cell phone service. You can't say anything. Nobody can get in or out, and it's just what they tell you on the news. So you're going to have to believe it, right? Well, I'm not. So I just know that once a major city is completely annihilated, then you're not going to be able to call over there, and it's just going to continue to happen again and again and again. And then that's when the civil war will break out that they are trying to do in America to get us against each other. But I believe, because it's my hope, that the 7 billion are going to turn back to God when they start seeing that everything's collapsing and crumbling, because they think the world's ending. but it's not. It just ain't. And it's not fear porn. There's absolutely nothing to fear whatsoever. And that's what I've been trying to push all along. I don't care if you believe my prediction dates or not. I really don't care. It's just about letting my opinion out there. If something happens on a specific date that I expect, then I know I'm on the right track with something. And hopefully it gets people to believe in God more, to have faith more, because I have an end message. Here's my end message. Everything is going to be freaking great. Literally. We're going to go to the last day. We're going to watch at least a week's worth of the best movie that was ever created in the history of the world, because it's a 7D holographic technology that we are literally going to be inside of the movie, watching the movie, and it's going to be for at least 7 days. And if you are scared shitless and you don't know what the hell's going on, which is probably the 7 billion, they're not going to enjoy their last days, really, because they're going to live in fear. I am going to enjoy what I see right in front of my face, whatever kind of sound it makes, however many things we see in the skies. I am going to love it and enjoy it, and I can't wait for that to actually happen. So when I say a rapture, hoping that happens on the 21st, well, because I want to see the movie. I want to get it started, the grand finale. I want to watch the grand finale. We won't have our phones to record it, but that's probably the last part where it's going to be all dark and everything. And so my message all along to this whole ordeal is fear nothing, laugh your ass off. You don't have to live in worry, with anxiety, with any type of fear whatsoever, because we're not dying. We are now turning into the hunters. We are hunting them because they were hunting us. We are waking people up, and they are starting to see it for themselves. And on top of that, God is using Satan to deceive the ones that aren't listening so they can turn to God through fear. We're going to laugh, and then in the end, God has a special treat for the elite. And, well, they can either be tricked, or it can be a treat for them also. So, pray that your flight's not in the winter on the Sabbath. You know, pray that your flight's not in the winter when it's inactivity and decay. And pray that it's not on the Sabbath, a day that you try to do your own works to get saved. Because Christ saved and healed on the Sabbath because they were trying to chirp him up with his words. Because he was trying to tell them that was a literal meaning, that you shouldn't work on the Sabbath. The spiritual understanding of it is that, is he not going to heal this guy on a Sabbath day because it's a Sabbath? Like, and it doesn't matter what works you do. You can't get saved from your works alone either. So what he demonstrated was he is showing you that he did work on the Sabbath. But he didn't do the work trying to get himself saved. And that's what it means to thou shalt not work. I don't know, you surely shall die. Well, I guess you shall die because you're still spiritually dead. If you're trying to do works on a Sabbath day, literally, well, you're not supposed to, according to until Christ came and, I guess, understood clearer that's why he spoke in parables, because he gave an earthly story with a heavenly meaning that the multitudes didn't understand what he was saying, but his apostles did. They understood what he meant with his teaching. So what he meant was, don't try to get yourself saved with a man-made gospel. And if your flight is on that time frame where it's in the winter, not literally, but it's where it's inactivity and decay, or it may be in the winter. It may literally be in the winter, and it may also be where it's going to be inactivity and decay in America. And then on top of that, pray that your flight, when you take flight, that it's not the day of the fake rapture. And on top of that, don't try to get yourself saved and think that it's works that you do that can get you saved. You can't get saved by works alone, but through faith. Faith is what makes you start doing the works. That's why you start doing God's will, because it's the same will that you have, that he has. Now you're doing God's will, even though it's your will too. So we're all supposed to just get along with each other. And I think that's what the idea is. Even if you have different opinions on the Bible and how to interpret things, and if you don't like when people set dates, well, I don't care, because other people set dates, and I give them props for that, especially when some things come true on certain dates. I'll give you props, but I just see it as all fakery first, and then because God already showed them that tornado, May 22nd, 2011, so he showed them that tornado. Now, I don't know, today's 7 years and 153 days later, maybe there's another tornado that's coming that might be real. I don't know. Or the last one that's coming is going to be the one that wipes away New York. I think all these are going to be man-made still. But when it comes to the tornadoes beforehand, and then I believe God showed them a real one on May 22nd, 2011. And they're going to do, again, man-made fake earthquakes on TV. And then after that, God's going to show them the real earthquake. And they're also showing fake fire in the end. But the fire that proceeds out of our mouths is going to devour them. And along with the flood, because I think the earth opens up their mouth and swallows the flood, okay? The earth represents people also. And when you open up your mouth, you're swallowing that flood because you're spitting out fire. Because the fire is what's the word of God, and you're devouring your enemies. And because you're opening up your mouth, warning people about the judgment, you're literally going to just swallow up that water because, well, it's not real. And you're just letting people know what the deception is. Dates or not, yeah, I'm going to come up with another date as to what I think is the absolute last. I said 2019 won't come around. And there's another 7-year period. There's another 1,290 days and 1,335 days from October 21st, 2011. I'll do the math on it. I'll just show what other people are saying too about that time frame. But it happens to be 3 days after Christmas when they exchange gifts to one another on the 28th of December. But after that, nothing else makes sense. I don't think we're going to be up much longer anyway. I've thought that 10 months ago, and here we still are, but it just keeps feeling like it's closer and closer. So I'm just going to keep doing the way that I've been doing it. If I see certain time frames that line up with something, I'm going to add it together and see what date it comes to and see what they're trying to do. Because remember, the elite, they have their dates in mind. So why would I not try to figure out what the hell their dates are when they have their scripts in mind? And I already know their scripts, so why would I not try to figure out the dates also?